Good evening, it's Charlie from Silence to Talkies with part 3 of my investigation into the silent talkie career of Dick Barthelmess. If you did not see my videos about Dick or Richard Barthelmess that I presented last week, parts 1 and 2, please be sure to check those out. But now, Dick Barthelmess, part 3. Shortly after filming Way Down East in 1920, Dick parted ways with D.W. Griffith. While this departure could have been due simply to Dick starting his own production company, we do know that he was not pleased with the stunt that Lillian Gish and he had to perform at the finale of Way Down East. For more on that stunt, please be sure to watch part 2 that I released last week. Dick was quoted as saying, re this stunt, "I would not make that picture again for any money that a producer would be willing to pay for it. I had on a heavy fur coat, and if I slipped or one of the cakes cracked and let me through, my chances would not have been good." Whatever the reason, Dick formed Inspiration Pictures in 1921 with Charles Dewey and Henry King so that he could begin to produce and have more of a artistic hand in the creation of motion pictures. His motion pictures, I should say. While he has only 2 official producer credits to his name from the 1920s on his IMDb page, we do know that he was able to have his artistic hand in his films due to his founding of Inspiration, and it is a safe assumption to assume he produced more films than he was credited for. Dick also was able to form a partnership with First National Pictures, who would distribute his Inspiration films. First National would later be absorbed by Warner Brothers, leading Dick to be a Warner Brothers actor in the 1930s. The first major production of Inspiration Pictures was 1921's Tolerable David, an adaptation of the famous short story about a young man struggles to overcome the odds as a poor mailman in West Virginia and be seen as a heroic grown-up man. Dick played this young man, David, who was tired of being seen just as tolerable young man and yearned to be a hero, while also catching the love of the beautiful Esther Hatburn, played by his early co-star, Gladys Hulett. A David and Goliath type storyline full of romance and drama ensued. Take a look at Dick as David in this clip. The first thing that I noticed was how convincingly Dick portrayed a much younger man. He was 26 at the time of filming this movie. The second thing was, of course, that usual Barthelmess range of emotions. He gives us excitement, hope, dreaming, uncertainty, happiness, and determination all in just a few seconds. Tolerable David was a huge commercial and critical hit, with Dick getting raves for his acting. Variety wrote, "Mr. Barthelmess's characterization is convincing with an added appeal which makes his performance come pretty close to being the best effort he has ever made before the camera." They went on to mention that the film will strengthen his name in pictures, assumingly as a reference to him being on his own from Griffith now. In 1922, Dick starred in The Seventh Day, in which he portrayed John Alden, a rich New Yorker that rediscovers his roots and finds romance when his yacht is forced to dock at his hometown. Although Jeff hangs out with the rich, boozy crowd, he is shy and reserved and is quite happy to discover the lovely Patricia, played by Louise Huff, in his hometown when he arrives. Take a look at this scene. As you saw, Dick not only got to act, but show us some of his dance moves for a change. What struck me was how he, yet again, was a completely different character from his previous films. His John was instantly emotionally smitten with Patricia, which was obvious through the emotion seen in Dick's eyes. The Seventh Day appears to have done relatively well at the box office and again got critical raves for Dick. Life magazine wrote, "Barthelmess is a serious young sea captain and he lends an air of real force and distinction to the role. He has risen above the position of a mere matinee idol and is now a real actor, for which he deserves considerable credit." Dick made 7 more films between 1922 and 1923, including Sonny, The Bond Boy, Fury, The Bright Shawl, and The Fighting Blade. The Fighting Blade, which gave him the opportunity to make an adventure film. All of Dick's star vehicles in this period were dramas in which, as you have seen, he excels. Dick knew what kinds of roles suited his talents best and knew what kinds of roles in which his audience would want to see him. All of these films appear to have been successes. In 1924, Dick made a film that many consider to be an artistic masterpiece, The Enchanted Cottage, which co-starred May McAvoy. Based on a play by Arthur Wing Pinero, the fantasy romance concerned two damaged people doomed to be quote-unquote ugly, who find their inner beauty blossoming on the outside once they fall in love. In this scene, Oliver and Laura try to enjoy a post-wedding night dinner. What I first noticed here is again how well Dick sunk completely into character. Oliver, a veteran who has been through hell and has the bodily damage to prove it, is sickly and gaunt. Obviously, some makeup is being used on Dick's face, but he truly sells it with his physicality and facial expressions. May McAvoy is outstanding here as well. I want to show you another scene in which Oliver and Laura begin to see each other for the true beautiful people that they are. The lovely sincerity that Dick and May exhibit here is just beautiful. The quiet looks that they give one another speak volumes about the true love that is shining from within their hearts. While I cannot find any evidence of the film's box office success or failure, it was critically acclaimed. Critics pointed out that its highly artistic, fantastical storyline may have not been popular with the common public. Photoplay wrote, "To anyone with a poetic soul, this picture will be a rare treat, but the too literal person will be sadly disappointed. A picture for folks who dare to dream. As such, we cannot recommend it too highly." Exhibitor's Trade Review also gave it and Dick raves. Given a screen vehicle in which the opportunities for fine characterization abound, you have something which is meat and drink to Richard Barthelmess. For that reason, the star assimilates, digests, and converts into clean, wholesome, red-blooded tissue, the ingredients that make up the Enchanted Cottage. What an interesting and really cool use of words here. In 1925, Dick made 4 more pictures, including New Toys, a comedy in his filmography that is sadly lost, and Shore Leave, another rare comedy that fortunately survives. In it, Dick played Bilge Smith, a sailor on leave that falls for a dressmaker played by Dorothy McGale. Comedy and romance ensue. What I particularly like about Shore Leave is not only is it a rare opportunity to see Dick do comedy, but also to see him play yet another different type of role, a humorous sailor with a penchant for exasperation and sarcasm as seen in this scene. What I particularly love about his work here is his humorous facial expressions. It's no surprise that Dick would be just as talented in comedy as he was in drama, but it's refreshing to see his same facial acting abilities pass the test of clowning around as you have seen in this scene, reminding me more of a role that Billy Haynes may have played. The film appears to have done well, and the New York Times said, Mr. Barthelmess is a little more natural than usual in his performance. What I assume that the critic means here is that Dick was surprisingly even more natural as a wisecracking funny character than he was as a serious man full of emotion, which makes me wonder if he was more of a witty type of person in real life. In 1926, Dick made Just Suppose, a romantic drama in which he played a crown prince who falls in love with a non-royal lady, Linda, played by Lois Moran. However, upon the death of his father and brother, Prince Rupert is sure to be the next in line for the throne, which means he will have to give up Linda and marry a princess. Note Dick's acting in this scene.